What did I teach you?
You are the Duke of New York. You're a #1.
But he wasn't the only one involved. You know what I mean? We're talking about an ancestral power that has been built up from us from before we even got here. That is almost like a well of power that we can draw stuff from. And what these people like Robert, so when Robert Johnson made a record, he had a record called The Devil Blues, where he's singing about how the devil challenged him to a guitar match or whatever. And if he won, then he would get this, and if the devil won, the devil would get his soul. He was talking about this whole stuff that I'm telling you about with the temple room and all this stuff, way back then. But again, we from the hip-hop generation, we came up in a fast food culture. So we don't remember things that happened, you know, maybe 2 weeks ago more than 3 years ago, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And because we've been maladapted in that way, we don't value this type of stuff, you know. The people who value it is the people who work so hard to destroy it. Like right now, the Skull and Bones organization has put themselves under the voodoo system. So they worship voodoo gods now. Things like Papa Legba and all this other stuff. Why? Because we're not messing with them. See what I'm saying? That's why they always go so hard on Haiti. That's why they go so hard on the Congo. That's why they go so hard on places like the Ivory Coast and stuff like that. Because these were the centers where this dark plasma was being matured and refined and being used to put the devil in his place. But Western black magic is Satanism. You see what I'm saying? So when a lot of the Yoruba people, right, people practice that, a lot of the stuff that came over here after Manahoshi, right, they took the underworld deities out of the general veneration. So a lot of the underworld deities, you know what I'm saying? Like you have Yemaya, but then you have Olokun, right? Who is the goddess of the deep waters. You know what I'm saying? She, in Kemet, would be Nephthys, or Nekhebet, or Sekhmet. You see what I'm saying? Depending on your system and how you understand how the gods and goddesses link up. But each god and goddess is responsible for an alchemical process in your body. So when you talk about Asar, you're talking about your pineal gland. You know what I mean? When you talk about Heru, you're talking about your hypothalamus. You know? When you talk about Aset, you're talking about your pituitary gland. You see what I'm saying? At the same time. But what Western society do is it break everything up into little margins and none of the two shall meet. And that's not how life is. I don't know anybody that is one way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody who has been one way their whole life and that's it. But yet we talk about things like contradictions and stuff like that. But physical reality is a contradiction in itself. But again, it also is the product of the universal mother, father, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, that loved us or it so much that it allowed an aspect of imperfection to exist for us to then be physical, right? To be able to grow up in this imperfection to learn how to be perfect. So that way it could experience what it would be like to be me or you or you or you or anybody else. Right. See what I'm saying? But remember, the church, you know what I mean? The religion came in and deaded all of that. Yeah. So there's a difference between spirituality and religion. Religious people are not spiritual. Spiritual people are not religious. You know what I mean? Because there is a natural, because religion is a natural inhibitor of spirituality. Because with all the religion in the world, anybody getting together, things get worse. That's not what Jesus wanted. That's not what Muhammad wanted. That's not what Buddha wanted. That's not what any of these people wanted.
Teach.
However, that's what's going on.
That's right.
So it got to be something else going on to this. So what I wanted to show in the presentation is kind of how these things kind of come into being and what this 2012 thing that you keep it rammed down your throat, what this is really about. Essentially, we're already past 2012 because we have already projected ourselves past that. So every couple of years, they're going to put out a new spell and say, okay, in 2000, Y2K is going to shut everything down. You know what I mean? Before that, it was 1999. We're going to party like it was 1999, right? Then before that, it was, oh, the World War. The Mormons said the world was going to end in 1984. You know what I mean? And they came out with a book about that.
Right.
Right?
1966.
Right. But they ain't going to tell you that H.G. Wells got the whole concept from a guy named James Baldwin. From James Baldwin building with him about what was going on in the ghetto. About how the social class was breaking everything down. But again, James Baldwin, the only way he met him, through another woman named Margaret Sanger, right? Margaret Sanger was the person who created Planned Parenthood.
Right.
And she also, right? And she also was the student of another guy named Joseph Mengele. Right? And you all know who Joseph Mengele is. I just seen a whole thing about him on the Nat Geo channel where they was talking about how he created a whole town in Brazil where everybody since that time has been born twins. Wow. And the animals. Because what happened? The United States got them out of there with the help of the Vatican, brought them to Argentina, hooked up with Eva Perón. They gave them Nazis free reign. Yeah. They basically killed all of the native people that was down there or amalgamated with them. Right? Then he went to Brazil, popped some stuff off. That's what the movie Boys of Brazil is about. Right? And he had an assistant. His assistant name was Nikolai Schwarzenegger. Your man Arnold's father. They got pictures of him in the SS uniform and all that. Wow. You know what I'm saying? This is common now. Like what we talking about right now, maybe 3 years ago, people around you be like, that's bullshit. That's not real. Now this shit is, in a year, this is going to be like natural conversation. What we are is going to be the mainstream. So that's when you got to watch out because that's when you're going to get everybody else. Let me put it like this. If something was to go down right now, based on all the stuff that we all hear, we've all been privy to knowledge-wise, when that thing goes down, whoever you talk to about this, the first person they're going to think about is you. You, the first person that's going to come in your mind, they're going to pick the phone, oh, damn, I know he's going to know what to do. I know she's going to know what to do. So all these people you've been talking about, you know, the government, how they've been killing people and eating babies and all this stuff, who never believed this shit, as soon as it happened to them, the first people they're going to be calling is you. You know who these people are? These are the same people who, when Noah was building the ark, and it was like, yo, it ain't gonna rain. What you talking about? Right? Until that first drop started coming down, things start changing real quick. Right? So again, the 2012 thing is also another aberration of the whole material reality, trying to make you project yourself at a certain place, to be at a certain place at a certain time at this certain date. So because we put it down in the Mayan calendar that things was going to come to an end on December 21st, 2012, see what I'm saying? The so-called Illuminists have decided that we're going to use this. We know that they know their time is up, so they decided, well, we're going to use this as a means to get everybody on the same page. So the countdown started in 2000 with the whole 9/11 thing. Because again, that put everybody under the same jurisdiction, and they created a situation where now everybody is a citizen of New York, i.e. is a citizen of the empire, right? The empire state, right? But remember, the empire is striking back, right? Right before the return of the Jedi, right? Which is us. So the great return has already started. We've already reached the great hereafter, because we here. You know what I'm saying? So when December 21st, 2012 pop off, right? And the government is telling these people, yo, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. You don't have to even get caught up in that. Because whatever they are going to tell you is going to be a lie. Anybody who is coming on TV, on one of the national television shows or stations or whatever, and start telling you what is happening, oh, you know, the solar field, that's BS. They lying to you. Because again, remember, the only thing that keeping this thing going is human souls. So the reality itself has to have as many souls thinking about a certain thing at a certain time, at a certain date. Because once you get to 2012 or whatever, right, then it's going to be 2034. Like they just came out with a thing. They said by 2034, they plan on, well, they didn't say this, but they didn't say they plan on it, but this is what they